Good evening. My name is Brett Herron. I'm with Red Realty Advisors, and wanted to give you just a brief overview of the project tonight. I'm sure you're all familiar with the corner and the intersection. I think it's kind of the gateway to most of your homes, if I understand it right. The project that we're planning here is going to be retail and restaurant shopping center development. We plan to develop the project in phases. The first phase of the project would be what you see here, which is Major A and Shops A, and that's what we've drawn up with some conceptual elevations here for that building that would be developed in the first phase. Our plan for the project is to go to the Planning Commission for their hearing later this week, and then hopefully to a council meeting later next month. What I'd like to do tonight is, other than that brief overview, just open it up for questions and see if there's any questions that you have about the project, any ways you think we can improve the plan. I'm happy to answer any questions that you have.
Have you made any types of arrangements with anyone who would be interested?
Yeah, we're in active discussions right now with a tenant that would take this 12,000 square foot space here as the major, as well as some smaller tenants that would occupy portions of Shops A. Unfortunately, I'm not able to announce who any of those tenants are tonight, but I'm hopeful that within the next week or two we'll be able to make an announcement as to our major tenant.
We've got one shopping mall here that is almost entirely vacant. And we've got the Gateway Mall, which has somewhere around 12 or more vacancies. What is the economic impact here? Why do you believe that economically this makes sense?
Well, I think you bring up a good point about the vacancies, and that's why we're planning to develop the project in phases. I don't think that you could take on a project like this and develop the entire project right now in this economic environment. So that's why we made the decision to do it in phases and just start the portion of the project that we feel confident we can lease up.
I'm sorry, let me follow up. Why would someone want to lease that when there is other leasable space available?
I'm not a tenant myself, but speaking from what I think a tenant would say is that this property here is, I'd say, one of the more prominent locations in town. A lot of the spaces that you see there are vacant. For example, portions of Frontier Village. Those properties don't have great exposure to the street. They're not in a real vibrant area. So I think that's probably some reasons that some tenants would come to this location versus others.
Is the entrance off Lee or 69?
There'll be two entrances planned for the project. One would be a right turn in off of Highway 69, and then there's a full driveway on Lee Boulevard.
The driveway looks like it's the same driveway that goes down to Hampton Inns that we're talking about.
Yep, that comes out right here at, I believe it's San Francisco Street.
Any kind of studies as to what that's going to do to the volume there? Is there going to be a light there now?
No, there won't be a traffic signal.
So, is there any studies on what that traffic's going to do? Because I would assume if someone is coming off the main highway to go into your new center, we're not going to then go to our homes. We're going to get back out to 69 and take the left turn.
Right, coming out of the center and going left, coming this way.
Is there any studies on based on who your potential tenant is, as what kind of volumes that's going to do in that area?
Yeah, the city's done an analysis based on a certain percentage of restaurants, certain percentage of retail, using this site plan, and based on those studies, they found that there's no additional work that's required at that intersection.
A traffic impact analysis was done when the mall was rezoned, and as part of that analysis, they went ahead and assumed this was retail. So the traffic, it's the reason why Lee Boulevard is a 4-lane highway right now.
Yes, sir.
What kind of tenant are you talking to?
Ideally, we'd like to see some type of a grocer in this location. Scott?
Microphone. Some of us would rather shop elsewhere than Walmart, and I'm just fully in favor of an alternative place to shop near my neighborhood.
Thank you.
Any big signage that would be going outside the property at all, or would it just be the signage from the stores themselves, like what's kind of outlined on the elevation?
There would be a couple signs along the frontage of the property, but they would be, there's a large setback here that's ADOT right away. So the signs would be behind that ADOT right away near the parking lot.
Would you be able to exit onto 69 from the upper entrance?
No, this entrance here will be a right turn in only, and that's something that is an ADOT requirement.
I would echo what Dr. Jenkins just said, that as a resident of the ranch, about 3/4 of a mile up the road, I would very much look forward to an alternative to shopping at Walmart.
Thank you.
I would just like to say that I think it would really add to the appearance of our, our development by having some shops there, even though it may increase the volume of traffic a little. But I think it would look a lot nicer than just that big vacant area.
Yes, sir.
Can you please set a date for this development?
Ideally, we would like to get started on construction with this in the second quarter of this year and complete it in the late third quarter.
So that would mean that you have tenants ready to sign on the dotted line.
That's pretty close.
And when will that be announced?
I'm hoping that in the next couple of weeks I can make that announcement.
If it doesn't make the paper, feel free to call me and I'll be
Once the city council approves or whoever has to approve it, and then once you get everybody to sign on the dotted line, when do you anticipate the first phase of this, whatever it's going to be, will be built?
Well, we think it'll be open to October, November this year. Yes, ma'am.
Is your thought that having, for instance, a grocery store like Trader Joe's there would improve the traffic into the mall? I mean, good, in a good way, to get more customers into the mall also?
Yeah, I think it would. I think, any type of good development like that you have on the periphery of the mall helps the mall as well. Yes, sir.
I, like many others, are concerned about traffic. I think you're underestimating, if Trader Joe's is going to be your main tenant. I know something a little bit about the movement in and out of Trader Joe's and stores in Phoenix, and there's going to have to be a traffic light eventually there. Because for us, living in the ranch, it'll be a right-hand turn very easily for us. For anyone making a left-hand turn out of there, heading towards 69 with the traffic coming off of 69 and coming out of that only entrance exit, you're going to have a lot of traffic. And I think you're going to have a safety factor as well, because people really speed up coming up once they come off of 69 on the lead, heading to the mall.
The engineering department, I'm sure they'll be keeping an eye on that, and they call it warrants. As soon as that intersection meets the warrants, in other words, a high traffic count, that automatically would trigger the process where a light would go.
But, excuse me, what about the fact if we don't, those of us that live in the ranch, what if we don't want a link there?
Again, it's a safety factor. If the intersection has a real high volume of traffic, and nobody really knows if that's going to happen or not, at that point, when safety becomes a factor, that's when they start looking at lights and things of that nature.
Yes, sir.
Did you say that was off of 69 is only a right-hand turn?
Right, a right-hand turn into the project.
Okay, so that means you can only come from one direction. You're turning into your development, and nobody can come out of that.
That's correct. No one can come out of the driveway on Highway 69.
So you don't really need a light. Worst thing you could do would be to put in an additional traffic handling lane to allow people to move over into that right lane and turn in.
Yeah, and that lane already exists right now. They put that lane in when they widened Highway 69, so there's already a dedicated right turn lane into the project. I think the traffic light that people are speaking of is over at the Lee Boulevard entrance. Yes, sir.
Is there any estimate as to the beneficial impact in terms of the additional sales tax revenue to the city?
We haven't conducted one ourselves, but you know, with the sales tax that Prescott has on various different types of merchandise, it's going to generate significant sales tax.
What are your next steps and timing of those steps in this project?
Right now, we're working on getting our building plans started. We haven't started those yet, but we expect to start those soon. We have a planning commission meeting this Thursday, and then we plan to go to the city council meeting in February, and then assuming everything stays lined up the way it has so far, we'll get started on construction in April is our goal.
Will you be announcing the tenants at that time?
I hope to be able to announce the tenants in the next week or two.
The Planning and Zoning Commission hearing this Thursday is at 9 a.m. here in these chambers, and it is a public meeting, so you are welcome to attend.